P9 back with another one. About to bless you guys with another vlog. And I'm here in the small city of Scottsville, Kentucky. We're about to walk around Public Square and get a vibe of what Scottsville, Kentucky is really like. So let's get into it, shall we? Good afternoon, good people. This is P9 with another vlog, and I am here in Scottsville, Kentucky, which is the seat of Allen County, Kentucky, right over here in front of the Allen County Judicial Center. It's a more modern look right here. So it's really nice. Modern look of Allen County Judicial Center. But right across over here is the Allen County Courthouse, which is more of a classical look. Looks a lot older. Scottsville, as a population, as of 2024, 4,574 residents. And it is named after Lieutenant Colonel John Allen, who was born in Virginia, 1771, but came to Kentucky in 1779 to practice law in Shelby County. State rep and state senate, killed in the battle at River Raisin in 1813, and one of the 9 officers of that battle, of whom Kentucky counties named Allen. Allen County was formed by the Act of Assembly from Warren and Barron counties. So that's how Allen County got its name. And it was also the site of a Civil War battle. 200 Confederate soldiers. It came here under John Hughes, who was attacked here 12 days earlier. He had attacked Monticello, Kentucky, and captured the parole garrison of 153 men. So, yeah, Colonel John Hughes also led Confederate forces here during the Civil War. So now Scottsville itself was named after Governor Charles Scott, who served as a governor for Kentucky between 1808 and 1812. And he actually served in the French and Indian War, also known as the 7 Years' War. So that's what Scottsville is named after Major General Charles Scott. And fun fact about Scottsville, Scottsville is also the birthplace of Dollar General, the chain of stores, the Dollar General, which is headquartered actually in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. About a little over an hour away from Scottsville. But that's Dollar General. It's a Dollar General store right there. So Dollar General, the chain of stores, has its origins right here in Scottsville in 1939, as a matter of fact. Now, J.L. Turner and his son, Cal Turner Sr., opened their first department store right here in Scottsville back in 1945. As you can see, they have a store right here, and I'm imagining this is also the original site of the Dollar General. Have an antique shop right here, Antique Mall, Scottsville Antique Mall. So this is the public square. So basically, it's essentially a circle. It's kind of like the street grid is kind of like in a circular motion with a few intersections. And just like in Franklin, I see another one of those in place of a traffic light. They have a stop sign suspended from the ropes up there, from the lines. McKinney and Associates. Have Edward Jones Investments down here. Exit Realty. I have a sushi spot right here. It's called Oishi Resto. So they serve sushi. Here's the sushi menu right here, as well as boba tea, ramen, hibachi. Okay. So they bring some of that Asian cuisine, Japanese cuisine over here to Scottsville. That's pretty dope. Montgomery Tax Office. Living Word Proclaim Broadcasting Ministries, taking the living world to a dying world. World Finance and Tax Services. So nothing too much more over here. We got Lyric on Main Street across the street. So it looks like that building right there, that Lyric on Main Street, kind of like in a mint green exterior, colored bricks. I think that's like a theater or something of some sort. Called Lyric on Main Street. So, few mom and pop shops in such a close proximity to each other. Interesting how this is kind of landscaped right here. This is surveyed. They got this field store, goods and gifts right here. They have an Oliver Creative. So a couple of artsy spots. They have a cafe on the square. It's like a pretty good place for the locals to gather. Come back over there in just a second. Have a beauty salon, House of Style, beauty salon right here. Also, they have this Wall of Fame. So this Wall of Fame displays a lot of Scottsville and Allen counties, people that, are from here, the locals and everything, in different walks of life and different occupations. We have James Weaver right here, who was a veteran. in the service. You had James Basil, the winningest coach. I think I pronounced it right. James Basil or Basil. Laddie Moore, king of rockabilly. I've never heard of Laddie Moore. I'm gonna do some more research though. Jim McDaniels, sports. Never heard of McDaniels either, but definitely would do some research. So is on Johnny Green, pioneer aviator. Elizabeth Turner Campbell, humanitarian. Dale S. Hall. You have Cal Turner, founder of Dollar General, as we just mentioned earlier. Nora Wilson, music. Thomas Crow Jr. Laura Turner Dugas, a philanthropist and devoted citizen. Dr. John Hall, dedicated physician. Charles Napier, Fred Hale, Greg Connor, Rob Klein, Linda Stovall, Eugene Harper, Chief Michael Cooksey, Tommy Long, James Seacrest Sr., and Morris Grubbs, industrial leader. So all of these individuals are on this wall of fame. Pretty cool thing to check out. Pretty cool that the city of Scottsville represented and honor those individuals, those locals. Got the Black House Collective right here, as well as this Connection Church, even though this building is vacant and has a for rent sign on it, as you can see. And you have this tree right here. And underneath this tree is a marker dedicated to Rosemary Graves Harper, lifelong dedication to the celebration and preservation of Allen County's rich history, and will forever inspire future and present generations. So shout out to Rosemary Graves Harper. You see they got the little, of course, you know, they're gonna have the Vietnam Veterans Memorial for those who served in the Vietnam War, veterans of Allen County. So they are gonna honor the men and women who served in the Vietnam War. And this right here is the Allen County Public Library. This was built in 1919. Actually, the Jacksonian Hotel, which was on this site, was built in 1919. Jacksonian Hotel was built during an oil boom, and Jacksonian gained wide prominence. It was the third hotel on site and stood here for 54 years. It closed in 1973, and the hotel received the name because of its location on Jackson Highway, which is now 31E, one of the oldest roads in Kentucky. This was the route Andrew Jackson sometimes traveled between Nashville and Washington, D.C. So this Jacksonian Hotel was getting a lot of business during the oil boom and during that time when it was a well-traveled road leading all the way up to Washington, D.C. So that's cool, pretty cool history there. And this is just a marker that tells about Scottsville during the Confederate invasion of Kentucky back in August of 1862. This is when John Hunt Morgan rode into Scottsville leading a brigade of 1,100 cavalrymen, and him and his men were on the way to Lexington, where they planned to join forces with General Kirby Smith's forces. And, you know, his brother-in-law, second in command, Basil Duke, joined him, as well as many citizens of Scottsville who turned out to see Morgan, including 8-year-old Sally Porter Edmonds and her family. And they actually had recollection of Morgan during this time. He was a broad-shouldered man with watchful eyes and a tender, kind expression. And he was known to speak to the citizens of Scottsville in front of the courthouse steps. And this was the Allen County Courthouse during the Civil War. As you can see right here, it has an octagonal shape, which is really interesting. It was built in 1819, but then replaced with the Allen County Courthouse in 1903. So the modern day Courthouse is what we saw earlier. That's what is replaced this one. This one photograph is courtesy of the Allen County Historical Society. And there goes Morgan right there. General Morgan, John Hunt Morgan. It's Isaac Hunt right here. One of those swayed by Morgan's address in Scottsville was young Isaac Hunt, then not quite 15. And he enlisted as a private in Company C, 3rd Kentucky Cavalry, CSA. And he rode with Morgan until he was captured along with Morgan in Chester, Ohio. And he was interred at the Camp Chase near Columbus, Ohio, and paroled at Camp Douglas in Springfield, Illinois. And that's Isaac Hunt right there. So basically, he was one of those internees that they held captive during war. So basically, a POW in a nutshell. But that's Isaac Hunt right there. And this is a handbill from the courthouse steps. Basically, this is where Morgan's men distributed this handbill so that they could try to recruit Kentuckians to the Confederate cause. So they were recruiting locals, and of course John H. Morgan, he the one that signed off on this particular handbill. But yeah, that's just some nuggets of information right here in Scottsville, Kentucky. And right here is this this stone right here that's erected, and it's carved out with the Jacksonian. It's as the old Jacksonian building, the hotel. That was a historical landmark here in Scottsville that we just mentioned on the marker. And this was carved out in 2020. You had Daphnica Wood, Ella Birch, Leon, I believe that's Wiklowski, Dylan Blankenship, and Snow Browning did this really nice piece of artwork right here. So shout out to all those individuals. They even etched their names out in cursive. How gangster. Yeah, that was really dope. Shouts out to Riley Dental Group, as well as the Loft. It's their names over there on the side of that building. Couple of other buildings over here, including the tax service. I mean, pretty much everything over here, with the exception of this part of this building at the end, are pretty much vacant. But this at the end is where that S awning is. It's called the Washington Center. It's an economic development center. They even have this furniture store right here too, Jimmy's Furniture. They look to be still open. Then right here at the corner, you have drive-through pharmacy called Stovall's. So, you know, every small town has to have that staple of a pharmacy to serve the entire community for the most part. Family owned. Again, it's called Stovall's. You can get your immunizations there. And also they have a drive-through pharmacy, so pretty dope. All right, good people. This is the last part of this vlog. Wanted to come over here and get this really nice artwork that illustrates the history of Scottsville. As you can see, a lot of these places you see right here were locally owned establishments right here in a small town. You have York and Massey, McCormick Deering and Implements and Tractors. So this looks like some firemen right here. It's the old school fire vehicles. Clifty Farm Country Meats. So of course, you know, you're gonna have your farms, your local farms. Scottsville was on that Louisville and Nashville line as well. So there's the depot illustrated right there during the heyday of railroad travel. passenger railroad travel, as well as product distribution. Marvin Wood Lumber Company. That's pretty cool. They got the pickup truck with the logs on the back. And this looks like this is something that could go on a postcard. It says, "Greetings, Scottsville, Kentucky." Lambert Brothers Pool Hall Burgers and Sodas. That's an illustration of how that culture was in Scottsville back during those times. You're gonna go get you a soda and gather around and shoot some pool with the city folk or the town folks. Excuse me. And this mural dedicated to the citizens of Scottsville, sponsored by the J.M. Smucker Company. And this was done by Jesse R. Sims in 2016. So shout out Jesse R. Sims for this really nice mural. It has the Smuckers logo on there. And, you know, there goes what we saw not too long ago with the S awning on it, the Washington Center Economic Development Center. So apparently that has been in the community for a very, very long time, multiple generations. You know, you see my guy right here, the old school Plymouth, got his suit and tie on. Suit and tie, his tie is coordinating with the suit and with the Plymouth. Got the turquoise going. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Yep, this is America. And you had the roofing Gunner Construction. This the old drugstore. And here, what you're going to see right here, you're going to see a bit of a juxtaposition between, you know, horse and carriage as a way of travel to the automobiles. And the automobile, you see the Pontiac right there. You see my guy right here putting air in the tire, inflating those tires. The other one washing the windows. But yeah, so you go from the horse and carriage to the more modern way of travel, which is the automobile, at the service station called Sinclair. And you see the RC Colas, the Sinclair oil cans. And so they had the extra duty motor oil. And I believe this looks like Dino right here from the Flintstones. It looks just like Dino, for real. What you guys think? And there goes gas back during that time. They illustrated 58 cents for 2 gallons, it was 58 cents. That's insane, man. They need to bring those gas prices back. I doubt they ever will, but you know, that would be cool. We can go back into that era, bring those gas prices back to the modern day. And there goes the Jacksonian Hotel, also illustrated in this artwork. And you had a Chevrolet pickup truck right here. And all this was done, by the way, I believe that's the courthouse. That might be the courthouse. And this is all done in 2023 by C. Lanham. We also saw a lot of C. Lanham's illustrations in Franklin, Kentucky. So C. Lanham is really making the mark. But yeah, that's the artwork in a nutshell. In this little alley, courtyard area, if you will. Which brings me to the conclusion of this vlog, guys. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to this vlog. If you've made it this far, make sure you tap that like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you select the subscribe button along with the notification bell. And once you hit that bell, make sure you select all. That way you get notified every time I drop a new vlog. With that in mind, good people, thanks again for watching. This is P9 signing out from Scottsville, Kentucky. Peace.